Taoiseach, the precondition for well-being of the people of this country is for them to have a secure, affordable roof over their head. And one of the standing scandals in that regard, as well as the abysmal failure of the government to deliver new public and affordable housing, is its inability to deal with the utter scandal of vacant and derelict properties, the length and breadth of the country, sitting there, torturing people who actually are in need of housing as they lie empty, but could be used to house people impacted by the housing crisis. Now, the measures that you've taken to deal with this have been self-evidently not working, but in answer to a number of parliamentary questions, which you may have seen, they got some coverage in the newspapers over the last day or two, they're pretty stark. There are now €14.3 million outstanding in vacant site charges. There are 7.9 million of derelict site levies. The amount collected last year, in 2020, of derelict site levies was 378,000 out of 5.4 million that was levied. On the vacant site levy, it's even worse, 21,000 collected out of 11.8 million levied in just 1 year. Only 7% of councils sought to impose the vacant site levy at all. Sorry, 7 councils, not 7%, 7 councils out of all our councils sought to bother to impose the levies, and 14 councils didn't bother to put the derelict site levy to impose it at all. So my question to you is very simple. First of all, how is it that there is no serious, judging from these figures, no serious intent whatsoever to actually pursue the vacant and derelict site levies? And isn't it self-evidently the case that this is not enough, they're not working, and we need much more radical measures, such as the robust use of compulsory purchase to get hold of vacant and empty buildings to use to address the housing crisis?
Paul Murphy.
In terms of Deputy Boyd Barrett's points, as you know, government, the Derelict Sites Act hasn't worked effectively in this country, and there has been a lack of pursuit of levies and so on, and local authorities would cite various legal difficulties around that. The government is looking at this fresh in terms of a new vacancy tax, and also in terms of planning permissions, you use it or lose it approach. So the Minister for Finance has done a lot of work in terms of the current LPT review to look at, in terms of research, as to what the level of vacancy is and how that can be dealt with. And also in terms of there's further work being done in terms of, again, getting a contribution in terms of the shared value of any uplift in value arising out of planning permissions being granted, that some of that would be used in terms of infrastructural investment. So a lot of work has been done in this space. Compulsory purchase orders are by definition lengthy and take up an inordinate length of time, it seems to me, in the courts. They again have proved problematic. In terms of the public side, we have, and the Minister for Housing, Darragh O'Brien, has worked extremely fast since he came into office to really avoid any voids in terms of public housing, and that they would be used. And in terms of Croí Cónaithe, he wants to use part of that fund in terms of ensuring that vacant sites in towns across the length and breadth of the country could be refurbished with grant assistance to ensure housing being provided.